Welcome back to the channel, everyone. And I just want to say that I know it's been a little bit of a while, but I do have a really big project for the channel I'm working on, which I'm going to be releasing more information in the in the days coming, in the weeks coming. But with the Atlantic pretty much being dead right now, uh, and most of the world being fairly quiet, I'm not going to be uploading too much in those coming weeks. But here's a little bit of an update here today that we're starting. I'm starting, of course, to cover right now. Uh, to cover here the Indian Ocean. So we're going to be starting that. And we do have two invests. Both invest 95A and 96A have a chance to develop according to the Joint Typhoon Warning Center here. And if you're getting a low chance, tropical development is unlikely within 24 hours. But as we get into the next couple of days, those chances do start to increase a little bit. And we could also be seeing something pop up here with disorganized areas of thunderstorm really starting to get more active and more organized here. And we'll get on that for potential impacts on the Indian coast. So we'll look all into that. Now, unfortunately, I don't know where to get satellite imagery for both of the storms. So if you guys do know a website for that, please put the link down in the description. And it will be very, very helpful. So if you first look at this here, we do have this area. Now, this is the GFS model as of the latest update. And so this would probably be 96A right here, I suppose, coming in that area. Again, we do look at this. So to move to the next couple of days, you can clearly see, of course, this storm really just moving gently eastward. And this is why we're likely to see this. If we are to see a storm, we're likely to see 96A just move pretty much due due west here. I think that would be due west or due east, due west. It's likely just to move due west, most likely into Africa there. So that is the what where and what potential impacts. Now we also have this area. Really, nothing is going to be happening down here. But what's really important to take a look at here is this. Okay, so this storm that the GFS has forming on this model run here that just came out. So if we take it back a couple area, you can see that this is that disorganized areas of showers I'm talking about. And you can see that pictured right here. This is that same disorganized showers, areas of showers. And so you could see here developing, we already have somewhat of a low pressure feeding from the remnants of Alicia as well as an old invest, kind of feeding into this here. And this is just powering this area of general moisture and some slight rotation to this. So what we have here is just this entire area feeding somewhat connected to the slow pressure here, connected to both of the slow pressures, feeding from each other. You get this area of disturbed weather, of course, coming from those very warm sea surface temperatures throughout the Indian Ocean. Now what the GFS has with this here is a high pressure building from this, so starting to pushing northwestward, and we generally get this area of high pressure here, so no impacts to those islands are expected. But what we do get from this is a more defined area of rotation and low pressure forms from this, because we do actually get a separation from this old low pressure system, and then a new area of rotation you can see here starts to form. So you get two distinct areas here starting to develop and really start to break apart from each other, which really helps what could become first 97A, really helps develop itself, or 97B, I believe. I don't know. And so this does start to really get its act together quite quickly. I mean, this is and this would be in about what does it say? Anyways, so yeah, so it does really start to get its act fairly together fairly quickly, and then what we're looking at, unfortunately, is at one point a 959 millbar storm coming towards India. And it does end up making landfall with 960 something. And so this is obviously, potentially a really bad situation. And behind that, you have another storm potentially making landfall in India. And so this is just overall not good to know. And, it does really start to get its act together. So if we look at this is in 90 hours. This will be November 24th right here, reaching close to hurricane status or cyclone status. And then it does, end up making that landfall about 156 hours or so. So on November 26th, so in a week or two or so. And obviously, we've already had Ampan not so long ago, or a couple months ago now, actually. But this would really be bad news for the area. And this is a big possibility. I mean, we have very good conditions here, especially, I mean, we have extremely warm sea surface temperatures and very moist areas. So, I mean, this could obviously, I mean, we do see a fairly rapidly intensifying storm. So this is something we're gonna have to keep an eye on. It hasn't been designated an invest yet, but that could happen. So we're really gonna have to keep a close eye on that. 96A though, it does. I mean, this model at least really doesn't form it much, and it does kind of dissipate out, and nothing really happens from that specific. But if we do switch it to, if we do switch it here, for example, to the CMC, we do have a little bit of different situation, I guess you could say. With once again, you got 96 or 95A, but they do also have this storm forming here into a similar strain, again, 970 something millibars. So that is, I mean, a consistency. You also got the icon going with a little bit of a weaker storm, but I mean, the JMA also showing that form, the WW3. So pretty much, I mean, every single major models does show that storm potentially forming, which is really what we're looking at here. The European model has a little bit of a weaker storm, but I mean, still shows it forming nonetheless, and that is what's a little bit concerning with this. Uh, at the moment, even the GFS, oh, we don't have a GFS, but I mean, so yeah, a lot of models are really starting to show this form right here, and so we're really gonna have to keep a close eye out again for this to potentially really start getting its act together, and then moving during this couple of days towards the coast in India. Now, I mean, it could bring a lot of rainfall to the area, so it's really something we're gonna have to keep a very close eye on, I think, in the near future at least. But if you look at Invest 95A, the script on the GFS, again, it really shows absolutely nothing from it. And right now, it doesn't look like Invest 96A or 97A or 95A or 94A. It doesn't look like any of them will end up forming for the time being, at least, in the near future. Now, if you look at the ocean analysis again, you can very clearly see how warm right now the Indian Ocean is. Wrong one. The Indian Ocean is right now. It is just extremely warm, and obviously that's going to be, I mean, that's going to be good for tropical development. You've got 29. That's like the storm did form where it is. So around here, it will move into 29 degrees pretty much the entire way through, which is obviously more than enough for tropical development. Uh, and then, 95 and 96, etc. They're in like 27, 28 degrees. But really, right now, the entirety of the Indian Ocean, very warm. Even all the way here, you've got 31 degrees waters here in the Philippines. So you've got very warm area to work with for systems. Of course, then you've got to look at the wind shear, the dryer. How favorable is that in terms of the storm? So if we look at that on the GFS, once again, it's pretty well described here what we're looking at storm-wise here. So if we change it to, what is it? If we change it to, first of all, if we change it to like some wind shear here, you can see that the storm will be dealing with quite a bit of wind shear this entire way through here. But as I went here, it doesn't look to be too significant. You can see here that similar IR imagery again showing potentially a very powerful storm out of this here. Track again is just horrible news. You can see this again here. If we move back out, this is right now, and then it really starts to get its act together and does look to potentially start to form and become a fairly big storm too, which is really what we're a bit scared here. If you look at the potential rainfall amount, I mean, you've got again an extreme amount of rainfall amount possible, really. So you've got a lot of things that could be happening with this. And if we look at the 24 hours here, still quite a bit of rainfall will be possible with this, which is what we really don't want to see with this type of storm here. So overall, I mean, we don't know if it's going to form yet, of course. It may form, it may not form. We're still going to have to look at that very closely. But it's a possibility that we do see the storm eventually form. And, that's a little bit of the bad thing with this. So it's gonna have something we're gonna be having to track, and something we're gonna have to track very, very closely. If we zoom in on this here, uh, you can see that they do indicate some slight wind shear potentially with this. So we're gonna have to track this. But thanks for watching, guys. We'll look at this very closely if this could become a potential impact to India. But in your future, thanks for watching.